Hi there. In this video, we're going to go over the basics of using Slack for class communications and project management. I'm going to show you how to use Slack in a web browser, works in any web browser, and also on the Slack app, which is available both for Mac and PC. You can also get Slack on your mobile device, on a smartphone. It works with iOS and Android. And I highly recommend that. It's a great way to get notifications and stay up to date. To start, let's go to skidmoregis.slack.com. This is going to be our entry point for signing on to Slack on a web browser. So if you're using any campus computer, you would go this way. If you're using your personal computer, you'd probably be using the app. I'm going to add my username, password, sign on. Great. This is the Slack platform. On the left, you have all of your different channels. Now, a channel is essentially a place where group conversations occur. I can create channels for the group. If you all would like me to create a channel for you, I'm happy to do that. But it's a place where you can converse with the group. These are all of the channels up here, and it's collapsible. Down here, we have our direct messages. This is where I can send a direct message to anyone within the Skidmore GIS workspace. That would be anyone in the class, any professors that are part of the Skidmore GIS workspace, lab assistants, etc. Up top here, we have starred conversations. So this is if I'm in a channel here and I want to start, I would just click the star button so I know it's always right up at the top. People I converse with frequently, great to have those conversations start so they always show up here. Now, Slack works through the use of threaded conversations. Just like in Gmail, where you would send an initial email and then all of the responses to that email would sort of follow a thread, so it doesn't take up a ton of space. The same happens with Slack. Let me give you an example. You all will be a part of the Fall Intro GIS channel. Eventually, some folks have joined a little bit early. I sent a welcome email a welcome note to everyone who joined early. Down here, I said, hey, I usually play music at the start of class and during stretch breaks. Anyone have any album requests? And I said, reply to this thread with ideas. So now what you can see here is I have 2 replies to this thread. If I click view thread, another window will pop up on the left here where I can see responses to that thread. It's just a really nice way of organizing topics. All of this is searchable through the search bar right up at the top here. Really nice way to go back and try to find information that was stored previously here. So one thing that I'm going to point out is next is the use of the @ command. And now what @ does is it creates a notification in your sidebar here. So here I can see I have 1 notification, Fall 20 Lab Assistance. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to see why. Why is that? Why do I have a notification there? Now, Andrew, one of our lab assistants, is trying to schedule a weekly lab meeting. And he said @channel. And what @channel does is it sends a notification to everyone who's part of that channel. So everyone who's part of that channel will get a notification. Now, you can also tag individuals. So if Jake had a question specific for me, he could have said, hey, @Charlie, I was wondering if there's a textbook for this class. I would get a notification and be able to respond. If Jake wanted to pose a question to the whole class and make sure everyone saw it, he could do @channel, and that would notify the whole class if there was a question. I definitely recommend using @channel for questions for the class. This Fall Intro area is going to be a place where we are able to answer and answer questions and learn collectively. So I'd recommend using that @channel command so that everyone gets a notification there. Really easy to add in links just sort of either paste the links in. You'll get a preview of links here. Really easy also just to drag attachments in, just like you would with Gmail or any other email app. You can just drag an attachment into the message box as you're composing. Slack used to be really bad about emphasis, about bold and italic commands, but it's actually really easy now, just like you would in a word processing. You could do Control B or Command B on a Mac, or Command I to add emphasis. You can also highlight text and put it into things like code blocks, which will change it to that sort of red text, or these longer code blocks, which will take up the whole bar here. One thing I really like in Slack is the ability to add emojis. Now, this may seem like a little thing, but for me as the instructor, it's great just to get these little pieces of feedback. So, for example, if I posted something like at channel, class is canceled today, and entered that in, you could come in and say, "Oh my gosh, that's awesome! Give me a thumbs up." We do like a big round of applause, and then you can add those with a click. Reinforce those commands with a click if you'd like to. I'm going to delete that so that doesn't actually show up for everyone. So for me, it's great to get that little feedback. And what I like about it is that it sort of reduces the barrier to for me to get some of that more direct feedback from y'all. So give some thumbs up, give some thumbs down, whatever works for y'all. Last thing to cover is direct messages. Direct messages right down here. You'll get the sort of most recent or frequent people that you message with right here, and you can send them a direct message this way. Or you can click the plus button, and that's going to let you do a direct message. Let's say I want to ask Andrew a question. Then I will pull up my direct message history with Andrew. We can also do multiple people. Let's say I want to ask a question of Andrew and Sammy and Morgan, some of our lab assistants. I can create custom groups here where I can create custom threaded conversations with that group. With direct messages, you don't need to tag people. I don't need to tag at Andrew or at Sammy for them to get a notification that a new message has come in. In direct messages, you'll get one of those little red signals anytime a message shows up. One last thing, this is cool little shortcut. So sometimes you want to make sure that you see something come in, but you want a reminder about it later. There are sort of two ways you could set this up. If I go over here and I click more actions, I can do remind me about this, 20 minutes, 1 hour, 3 hours, tomorrow, next week, or custom. Or if I click mark unread and then navigate away from that, oh, it's my own thing. If I click mark unread here and navigate away, I will now see that my this has turned bold, which means that I have a new message, a new untagged message. So if I click on that, oh, cool. That's that message. I can see something that wasn't read before. Similarly, if it's something that's tagged, mark unread, cool. Now it's bold, and I know it's something that's been tagged for me. Just a nice way to be able to remind yourself of a message that maybe you read before you were ready to act on it, and you want to make sure to tag it for use later. Last thing here. This is the browser version of Slack. I'm just going to open up the app version. You'll notice it looks almost exactly identical, and all of the things work in very much the same way. Red windows pop up here. Direct messages work in the same way. Notifications, etc., work all in the same way. It's just a little bit slicker. It takes up the whole window rather than having the browser bits around, and the notifications tend to be a little bit easier to manage within the app. All right, that's it. Hope this is useful for y'all, and looking forward to slacking this semester.